I remember when I was 6.5, 7 years old. I remember the day my dad came in. He woke my brother and I up. I've told this story before, but it warrants it right here. I want to tell it again. And my dad woke us up and says, boys, I want you to go out into the backyard. Whatever comes out of the back door, whatever I throw out of that back door, you take it to the burn pile. Don't ask questions. Just take it to the burn pile. You see, my mom was in the occult. She was dealing with all kinds of demonic things, possession. It was horrible. Life for us was really difficult. I thought everybody's parents just screamed and yelled at each other. I just thought that was what was normal. Because the fighting, the chaos, what was going on in our life. And of course, that's my mom. And then my dad, he's out doing other things too, that just not following Jesus. But when she reached out to God, God delivered her. He rescued her in incredible things, immediately turned around. And my dad said, I'm in on this journey. We're doing this together. And what they realized was there's a whole lot, and I'm going to say the word, crap in our house, because there is a whole lot of C-R-A-P, things that do not represent the things of heaven in our home. And guess what? Where we're going, we won't need them. In fact, we need to get rid of these things so that we can make room in our life for the new things that we're going to need for our journey. So boys, get outside, and everything that comes out of this door, don't question it, just take it to the burn pile. And they cleaned out that house literally, and that is the day that our lives turned around. It was the greatest gift my mother and my father could have ever given to me and my brother. If you're here today and you're saying, I got a whole lot of CRAP in my life, it's time to open up the back door, throw it out, take it to the burn pile, and move on. Because where Jesus is taking you, you won't need it. Yes? But the only way we get there is we got to rise above the valley floor and stop talking about all the stupid things that the people on the valley floor are talking about. And the only reason they're doing it is because they get there honestly. They haven't seen anything else. But God shows us everything else. So how can we still be caught up in it? Only because we choose to be. And only because our trust is in the not Jesus stuff. And Jesus says, hey, I taught you these things because I want you to live them. I want you to live into these things. It's like a southern grandmother who just grabs you. You know, the southern grandmother, I grew up in Texas, so I can say this. She would just grab your face and turn it to you and say, stop looking over there. Look at me. Just look at me. I got something I got to say. Just grab your face. All of chapter 5, 6, and 7 is stop looking over there and look at me. Jesus is grabbing some of our heads today and saying, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. And then Jesus says in verse 25, that's why I tell you not to worry about life, whether you're going to have enough food, enough drink, enough clothes to wear. Life's so much more than these things. And I've got this piece I want to just read to you guys. This is something I wrote in my devotional time, and rather than just try to say it, it's just better if I read it. Because I think there's some of us who really need to hear this. I believe God is trying to pour out into our lives. And all we're caught up with is food, clothes, and just the ridiculous things of this life. And we're so missing the big picture. And he says, I am standing ready to pour into your life incredible things that you just can't even think about right now. But if you'll let me, you will be thinking about these things. And I believe that most people are going to miss it entirely. Most of humanity will literally stand before the Father in heaven, and they will hear him ask the question, why? Why did you decide that pursuing enough was more important than all that I was ready to pour into your heart and your hands to enjoy and to give to others? See, you believed that, and this is in your notes, that enough is a number. Enough is not a number. Enough equals Jesus. Enough is not a number. You will never have enough clothes and never have enough to eat, never enough to drink. If that's all you're thinking about, if that's how you're thinking about it, you will never have enough to live the life I've called you to live that is generous to other people. You will never recognize why you're here. But if you will know that Jesus is enough, then you can trust me. But if you think enough is a number, you will literally never be able to trust me. So you got to move yourself out of that. I've been trying to pour into you relationship with me. The ability to know and to accomplish my will for your life. I want to pour so much expectancy over you that you would literally be able to set worry and anxiety down, making the exchange complete. You could have lived forgiven and unencumbered, rescued from your enemy's will for you. And I stood ready to pour into your hands to steward on my behalf a contagious joy, peace that subdues, patience that endures, kindness that is tangible, a life full of virtue that reflects mine, faith that prevails against the enemy's lives, and a gentleness of heart and a strength in your spirit that you would have courageously controlled. But instead of opening your heart and your hands to all of this that I wanted to pour into your life and much more through the life of my son that was drained of its blood on a cross, you clung to the pursuit of enough, thinking it was a number. Why did you do that? Because I clearly have told you that that's not what it is. No wonder Jesus would say at the end of his message, it's a house that's either built on bedrock or sand. And then they were left, finished, hearing the teaching, dazed, confused, overwhelmed, bewildered. Enough is not a dollar amount. It's actually a step of very bold faith. Enough is Jesus. And I can be generous with the life that I have today because I know that God will continue to pour into my life tomorrow. I have all that I need.